What's up, guys, and welcome back to an episode of the Aston Villa series. And I come to you today just out of the January transfer window. First game in February, we're playing West Ham today, and I'm absolutely over the moon with the way this is going. Things couldn't be going better, to be honest. January transfer window was a complete success, and the team I've now assembled in real life, if Aston Villa did sign this team, I'd be just thrilled because it's very good, in my opinion. Some of the deals, like, you scratch your head and think, really, how did that? It's so unrealistic. But nevertheless, let's have a look at the transfer window. Now, first player we brought in was Foos, of course. He joined us. I did the deal a long time ago. He's yet to play. He's in the under-18s, but he's yet to play because he's been injured. Next player, Victor Valdez. Dirt cheap, £32,000 a week for Victor Valdez. 6.93 rating so far from his 4 games, but we've played some difficult games, which you'll see in a minute. The guy's been, a real upgrade on Moya and Castile. Etienne Capoue from, or Capoue, from whatever his name is, from Tottenham. It's like, wow, how do we get this guy? It's crazy. Again, dirt cheap for £3.4 million. Romeu was just, Chelsea didn't want him anymore. They just didn't use him last year. Was on loan, was he, for a bit? He was on loan at Valencia, played a lot, but they didn't need him. They'd not used him at all. They used him once off the bench, brought him in. Okay, 6.2 rating so far, but I've not used him really. Griezmann has joined us on loan from Man City. They decided they didn't need him anymore, despite playing pretty well last year. 21 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, 1 man of the match. Not a bad player for a 15.25 million outlay they paid for him. Played 1 game for us, scored 1 goal. So really pleased with that. Lira Mendy, a guy Real Madrid forked out for £33 million from Sociedad a couple of years, a season or so ago. In the game time, I mean. Just wow, just how do we get this guy? It's crazy. I mean, and all that means is the fixtures. Although I've not had them, to be honest. The games you see here are with the regular squad. We lost 2-0 obviously last episode, and then we played Nottingham Forest, beat them 4-1. Jack Grealish got a hat-trick. A hat-trick in 27 minutes. This kid is incredible. I've now tied him to a brand new contract. Darren Bent then rounding off the scoring, continuing his awesome form. Lost 6-0 to Chelsea. 6-0. Chelsea was just insanely good in this game. Can't argue with it. 6-0. We were dreadful, but they were so good. Then we played Arsenal, beat them 4-1 at home. Youreza Corre got 2 goals. Tanev got a goal, and Bent scored again. Then we played Newcastle at home, beat them 2-0. Griezmann and Bent scoring again. Then just played Man City at home and beat them 1-0. Nathan Baker scoring from a set piece, which was really good to see. Baker's such a good player. We're in 4th in the Premier League. 4th in the table. Next season, after January, Aston Villa will not be in 4th in the table. This is so unrealistic, but I love it. It's just, we are doing so well. Today we're playing West Ham. Now, in theory, after playing Newcastle, who are right up there, Man City right up there, in theory, okay, Chelsea right up there, and we got beaten by them. But, Man City, Newcastle, great results against them. Arsenal doing really bad. I'll look at them in just a bit more detail in just a second. In theory, we should demolish West Ham today, who are in 18th. But going on FIFA and Football Manager logic, we'll lose. We'll probably have a really difficult game today and not do very well at all. That's just how things go. Now let's have a look at Arsenal, why they're doing so bad. Bernard Schuster is their manager. Wenger resigned and then took the Liverpool job. Now that leads me on to my next point. Liverpool approached me and offered me the job, probably because I don't think Liverpool have beaten me yet in the game. So that could be why. But Liverpool, I don't see Wenger resigning at the end of the year and going to Liverpool next season. That's a little bit out there, but hey-ho. Transfer history, what have Arsenal done? Spent just under £34 million. In the January window, they brought in Markovic from Benfica, pretty good player, and loaned in a new gen? No, loaned in a real guy who's pretty good, actually. I've never heard of him, though. I've never actually heard of him. But they've sold off, Szczesny to Monaco, because they brought in Viviano as their first choice this year. So that's something else that's happened. With regard to what Benteke has been doing at Monaco, he's been playing 19 games, 8 bench appearances, 13 goals, doing okay there, I guess. January window, what do they do? Oh, they brought Danilo in, Dragovic in, Szczesny, Grenier, Yamalenko, Umuti, Rufia. They've got two first-choice goalkeepers now, constant. They've done really well in the transfer window, and they are sitting top of Ligue 1. PSG well down in the table. Laurent Blanc still got the job, unbelievably. They've brought in Luc de Jong, Curran Traus. They signed him in September. Kovacic, whatever his name is in there. At the moment, it looks like, going back to the Premier League, it looks like Forest are going to get relegated, and Barnsley, I have to say, Barnsley will get relegated. West Ham, though, look at their form. It's pretty poor. Only one win in the Premier League this season, is it? Yeah, one win in the Premier League this season. So, in theory, we should do really well today. However, the reality probably will be we'll probably do quite badly. But anyway, let's go on with the game today. The board, if you're wondering how I did those transfers, the board, I requested funds from the board and they gave me £6 million, just without me even having to give them another reason why, they just gave it to me. So that's how I did that, £6 million, and I think both the transfers are over 48 months with a bit of it up front sort of thing, just to get those deals done. But look at this team now. I'm really pleased with this. Today, a couple of players are missing out, having a little bit of a breather because they are a little bit fatigued. But Valdez in goal, Luna, Baker, Reva, and Lowton at the back. Reva doesn't normally start. It's normally Virginie, but he's on 94%. Could start him, but I just don't want to push it. Capore's in the anchorman role again today. Romeo gets a start, although I've been starting with Yabaku Silla, but he's down at 93%. Now, yeah, that's because attribute-wise, Romeo is a better player, but Yabaku Silla's been in such good form, I just can't take him out of the team. Holtby is only 6.88 rating in his last 5 games, I think that is, which is not good. You suggest that's not good. However, the reality is, when he actually plays, he does really well for us, so he starts again. It's not his ideal position, obviously, an attacking midfielder, but he's adapting to my formation. Griezmann's on the left, Bakuna on the right, Bent up front. Bent keeps his spot, although Fierro, you see Fierro's done really well this year. Oh, and that's another thing that I forgot before I get into the game. Transfers that have gone out. Some big things happened with regards to players going. Albrighton's on loan at West Ham. Miguel Angel Moy went for £500,000 to Sevilla, and Bafétimbi Gomez on deadline day went on loan to Lille because the guy was just not in my plans. I just don't use him. I don't rate him in the game, and moved him on. So there's a lot of information that's got over to you guys, but I'm all very excited after the transfer window, and I'm really excited with regards to this team and what it can now go on to achieve. I don't think we're going to stay in the Champions League positions for next season. I think if we can get a Europa League spot from this position, a Europa League spot would be really good for us to achieve. Not realistic, but be more realistic than Champions League. But again, to be honest, I'm not too fussed about realism. That went out the window when I signed Victor Valdez. Was that Valdez made a save? It bounces clear. Bakuna's now on the right. Can we launch a counter-attack? Gets it up to Bent. Bent plays it back to Romeo. Oh, no, end of the highlight. Now, Liverpool wanting me was quite interesting. They offered me a lot of money. I instantly rejected. To be honest, I'd never take the Liverpool job. I don't like Liverpool. Full stop as in real life, so I would never take that job. And I've got no interest in leaving Villa. But it was just nice to see they wanted me. West Ham wanted me a little while ago. So it's good to see I am getting approached by clubs. 6-0 against Chelsea, which is comical. I mean, but Chelsea were unbelievably good. They always are. Mourinho in charge. It's always never going to go well for us. But then to beat Arsenal 4-1 was just insane. Beat Man City 1-0 was even better, to be honest, given it's Manchester City and Football Manager is just, almost unstoppable they are. We know that after they beat us in the Champions League final when I was QPR last year on FM13. Bakuna, though, with the goal there. It looked like a really tight angle, but a good goal by him. Now, other news is that I have my MacBook Pro is coming next week. It is coming sometime next week. Well, it should do. Everything according to plan, it's been ordered. It should be delivered next week. If nothing goes wrong with the delivery and all that sort of stuff. So, fingers crossed, it will be with me next week and I'll be able to play on that. We get a penalty, though. Bakuna for his second of the game. Good stuff. 2-0 beating West Ham. Looks like we should be on for another 3 points. Strengthening our case for a Champions League spot, which again I don't think is likely. So hopefully with that MacBook Pro, I'll be a much more powerful computer. I think I deserve. I've been waiting for a good computer, so I've been saving up and hoping to get a really good one. So I went for that. Can't go wrong with a Mac. Can't go wrong with Apple, to be honest, in my opinion. Actually, that leaves me on. That's something else. Not so much with regards to this particular save because Benteke is sold. I sold him to Monaco. But in real life, now if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I'm not a huge Benteke fan. Despite being an Aston Villa fan, I'm not a huge Benteke fan, which is odd given that he was, a machine scoring goals last season. However, I believe, in my opinion, having watched him last season, he was. I don't jump on the bandwagon. I don't jump on the bandwagon saying, "Oh, Benteke is incredible, he's a £30 million striker," and all this sort of stuff, because he really isn't. How long? My big point with Benteke is he's incredibly lazy. The guy he does nothing but walk around. I mean, literally, it takes seconds to score a goal. In reality, think about how long it takes to score a goal. Just say a minute. Just say a minute. The build-up play and the goal, a minute. What does he do for the other 89 minutes? Plus injury time, of course. What does he do? He doesn't do anything. He's not a target man. Balls get hit into him, he just stands there. He doesn't make any runs at all. He just walks around a lot. And when he does get the ball, he has to have a lot of the time. But I'm criticising him here, but when Benteke is on his game, when he's on form, he's unplayable. When he's a dominant force in the air, when Benteke wants to play and wants to put the effort in, he's unplayable. However, that is so few and far between this season, particularly since he's been injured. Maybe it's got something to do with his injury, but it was my big point with him last year. He was so lazy that the case was he had to be in the right place at the right time with the right service, and everything fall into place for him then to score when he was being lazy. That's just how Benteke is. When Robin van Persie's not having a great game, he can still score. For example, he is a world-class striker. Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, Cristiano Ronaldo is a winger, but he's a world-class finisher sort of thing, if that makes sense. Good striker, makes lots of runs, although he's a winger. But he can play up front as well, I guess. They are world-class. When they don't have to be in the right place at the right time with the right service and everything fall into place. They can score from nothing. Benteke can't do that. That's what really gripes me when people go on about Benteke being a world-class striker. Now, in my opinion, I would be more than happy. I mean, I tweeted it the other day. I'd be more than happy for Villa to rake in this money off of Benteke. I think he's improved his work rate a little bit. At the start of the season, he did improve his record in terms of he did improve his all-round game at the start of the season. Then he got injured. Maybe his laziness has got something to do with his injury since he's been back. I don't know, but I doubt it. I think he's gone back to last season's laziness. But if he can be lazy and score those goals, okay. But I want more from him. I want more all-round game. Adam Smith there scoring another tight angle, beating West Ham 3-0 here. But again, back to my point. I would like to sell Benteke in January. I don't think it's going to happen because I can't see why he'd go in a World Cup year when he needs to stay in a situation he knows. Because if he were to go, he doesn't know if he's going to be playing. If he's not playing, he's not going to go to the World Cup with Belgium. So he needs to be playing. So he's not going to go. But in theory, I'd like to sell Benteke, make millions off of him, because let's be honest, he would go for millions. In my opinion, it's wrong, because I don't think he's worth that. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's incredibly lazy. That's my big point. Therefore, I don't believe him to be worth as much as he'd go for. I think in reality, I think he would genuinely go for 20-30 million pounds. I think so. When Andy Carroll goes for 35 million, I think Benteke is a better player than that, and I think Benteke will go for a lot of money. I think someone like Tottenham or Arsenal or Liverpool or someone will buy him, or even Chelsea potentially, for a lot of money. Although maybe not Chelsea, because Mourinho likes work rate, so maybe not. So yeah, I would be happy to sell Benteke, make a stupid amount of money off of him, and then buy someone like Jermaine Defoe, because he needs first team football. He's been complaining a little bit that he's not been getting that first team football. So I'd like him because he runs around a lot. Bring Jermaine Defoe in. He can't argue with his goal record. Okay, he's not a world beater. But he can't argue with his work rate, and he does score goals. He's the top European goal scorer for Tottenham, isn't he? Although, okay, Europa League, not the hardest opposition all the time. But that's not the point. He is a goal scorer. I'd like to buy him, because he wouldn't cost Benteke. Buy him, buy Will Hughes. I think Will Hughes would be an amazing buy from Derby. You need that creativity in the midfield. Add that. And I would also move for Tom Ince. Now, with the fee you were to sell Benteke for, you wouldn't need to spend all of that on those three players, I don't believe. I don't think all those three added together would amount to what you'd sell Benteke for. But I think those three players in the team would add to a far greater team display than Benteke gives you. That's going off topic a little bit from this, kind of. But I just wanted to give my thoughts. I mean, it's now, late November. In January, I'd love to see Villa do that, because I would like to move Benteke on, because he's lazy. You can't. I'm not arguing with his goal record. I'm not arguing with that at all. Don't get me wrong. He has scored a lot of goals, but my point is, it takes such a small amount of time to score a goal. And what is he doing for the rest of the game? He's not making runs for the team. So you see, often a lot of our creativity problems are, players have got the ball, they're looking for a run, they're looking for a pass, looking for something, and he's just standing there. The guy's just walking around standing there. You got like Agbonlahor, he's all pace, yes, but he's just running along, he's running around. Weimann's running around, Bakuna, bombing up from right back, running, all these runs, nothing comes of it. Benteke's just standing there, and I'm just shouting, move, Benteke, move, do something, please, don't just walk around. It just infuriates me when he's just lumbering around doing nothing. But that's my little rant gone. Kind of a rant, kind of what I'd like to see us do in the January transfer window. It's not going to happen though, as I say. But next episode will be, I don't want to do Stoke again, we've only just done them. Next episode, we'll do Wigan. We'll do Wigan on the 28th, just before the end of the month. So I'll play a couple of games and I'll do the Wigan game. Should get a win from that one. I leave you in 4th, just ahead of West Brom. They've got a game in hand, but even if they win, we stay in 4th, which is still a Champions League spot. How far are we in the league? 14 points off top. We're not going to catch that. Champions League, though, is alive. The dream is alive. Let's see how we go. And I'll see you guys for Wigan.